see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
Gordon Lightfoot died. This song will be 50 years old next year.
That one hit me harder than I thought I was going to.
That's why I sent it to you. I thought of you first because your dad's a big Gordon Lightfoot fan.
Huge Gordon Lightfoot fan.
We've played him over the years, and I mean, when I was this music was on the radio when I was a kid, so I remembered these songs like coming back from my grandmother's on a Sunday night, or Sundown was a big hit. If You Could Read My Mind, Love was a big hit.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Gordon Lightfoot.
It's pronounced Gordon.
Sorry, Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon's Gold.
The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Great song.
Lake Gitchigumi.
Gitchigumi. Yeah, last night, when you sent that text, I started listening to some songs like immediately, and my girlfriend's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm not.
I am not okay."
Because I was just transported. So my dad had a Camaro Z28 in the 90s.
Was it canary yellow?
No, it was just white, and he'd put the top down, and a lot of guys, when they have a car like that, they'd put on some hard rock.
Yeah, because you got that special performance package.
Yeah.
You gotta be kicking out some
It had
bangers.
a multi-disc CD player in the trunk, and it was full up of Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
So instead of driving around listening to like
Twisted Sister,
AC/DC or something like that, we're driving around listening to Sundown or The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and that's just how my dad
was it a Z28 convertible?
Yeah, Z28 convertible.
That's a flex, boy. You're
it was a great
driving
car.
this machine,
He only
high
had it-
performance,
yeah.
and you're blaring Gordon Lightfoot.
He only had it for a couple of years because he's like, why do I have this car that I don't like to drive in Ohio? Because it's, first of all, I have a million kids. So he was just like, I don't drive it enough. So he sold it I think he only had it for about a year. But it was, I just remember those times driving around in the Camaro he would turn it up loud, but it was Gordon Lightfoot. Even Gordon Lightfoot loud is still kind of just tranquil.
Why is it so loud? Is my microphone on? Just keep it off. It doesn't matter.
So then it got me thinking about my dad and like, okay, well, my dad's a big fan of Gordon Lightfoot, and Gordon Lightfoot's 84. My dad is not nearly that old. He's in his late 60s, but before you know it, he's going to be that old and he could be gone. And also I was a little stoned, so my math was way off. I was thinking that my dad was like 77, not 67. And I don't think he's dead. I think he's 68. So I was like, he's got plenty of time. But it was just,
I don't know.
There's a lot of memories tied to Gordon Lightfoot because I didn't really think of it as anything as a kid. I was just like, oh, this is my dad's music. But then I got back into it when I started collecting records in my 30s. And I was like, oh, man, I actually really love this. His guitar playing, his songwriting, all this stuff.
He's a folk rock icon.
He's incredible. So I got really into him again. Well, I got into him like on my own for the first time. And it's been this bond that my dad and I have had for all these years. And now
if nothing else, you've got
passed
Gordon
on.
Lightfoot.
Yeah.
But the music lives forever.
Yes. And that's kind of another thing, whereas like my relationship with Gordon Lightfoot will stay the same for the most part because I'll always have these songs. That's one of the beautiful things about an artist passing away at the end of their life, where like we got everything that he was going to do. And so
everyone passes away at the end of their life, right?
Well, after 84 years of life.
He had a big, long life.
Yeah, he had a big, long life, a tremendous catalog. So there's a lot of Gordon Lightfoot music that you can consume and still appreciate the man, whereas someone like Kurt Cobain, all that 27 Club guys, they never got that next chapter.
Gordon Lightfoot died in a Toronto hospital of natural causes last night. He was 84, his career spanned 60 years, and he performed probably up until a couple years ago. I don't remember the last time he came through here.
He came through a few
He
years
played
ago because my
probably-
parents were there.
Did he play the Kent stage? That seems like a place that he would play.
Last few times he's come through, he played at the MGM.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he did 100 years ago, back in the 60s, he did the Kent State Folk Festival with Judy Collins. I almost called him Canada's Neil Young, and then I remembered that Neil Young is Canada's Neil Young. But Gordon Lightfoot was a thing all to himself. He was like a huge folk icon in the late 60s, and then he had a string of radio hits in the 70s. Last couple of years, he has not looked good.
I have a question.
But he's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. I don't know that I don't think he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But they said that he had, 20 years ago, he was in the hospital for a series of stuff. So it finally just gave out on him last night. But he had performed for a long, long time.
Poundcake, you had a question. A dad is a guy that
A male is a father figure.
Father
Someone
figure,
who-
hence the name. Right. You've probably had many father figures.
He's had
if
daddy
not the
figures.
actual- yeah.
Yeah. No,
What's your question?
my question is, just because he's 84, does that automatically assume it was like natural causes? Like there can still be foul play if he's like 84, but I think
He had
84 is the
enemies.
limit. Yeah, I was gonna say 84 is like the limit where people stop caring if there's foul play. Like, he had a nice long life.
Well, but he was a drunk for a long time, too. I mean, he got sober in the very early 80s. But before that, boy, he hit the bottle hard.
he was. There's a great documentary about him. I think it's on Amazon. I don't remember where I watched it, but it was a really interesting documentary about his
And it wasn't
career
like he
and
had.
life. Yeah.
The wild thing about Gordon Lightfoot was for all of his albums and this huge catalog, he didn't have a huge range. Like, Gordon Lightfoot sounded exactly like Gordon Lightfoot. It wasn't like Bob Dylan, it wasn't like Joni Mitchell. Gordon Lightfoot you could immediately recognize because he never went too far off one direction or another.
Yeah, he never went electric. He never was like, I need to put some more horns in this. Like, he's always that very folksy stuff. Although I
Gordon
think this song
Lightfoot-
actually has electric guitar in it.
Yeah, Gordon Lightfoot wrote more than 400 songs. Imagine that. How hard it is to write a song and then have it be a hit. And people who do it over and over and over again, it's amazing. There's just something, you can't chalk that up to luck because there's no luck there. You have a skill. But hello, Joe.
Hey,
What's up?
thanks for recognizing Gordon Lightfoot. He was one of my favorites. He was awesome. His songs are all awesome. Me and my buddy used to drive around and just put the tape in and just listen to it all night long, and we'd sing along with it, and we knew every verse, every lick there was to it. And he'll be missed, but like you said, I still got his songs in my memory, and I still can get them on YouTube every time. That's the first ones I usually play when I'm playing at YouTube.
Is you about to
Is
cry?
Gordon Lightfoot.
He's like kind of
He
a
was
guy
awesome.
that you didn't always think about, but if you heard him, you go, God damn, Gordon Lightfoot's good. Like it wasn't like a top of mind thing, but another great artist to come out of Canada.
Yeah.
America's
another
hat.
thing, I've seen Neil Young like 5 different times in concert, and I kick myself in the ass for not ever going to see a Gordon Lightfoot concert.
Oh,
because I think
good for you.
Yeah, you
You
never
know?
got to see Gordon Lightfoot, Joe. You scooped
Not
up all these other gigs. You never checked out Gordo.
It's pronounced Gordon.
Okay. Well, thanks for recognizing him. Have a good day, guys. Yep.
You too. There's Joe out in Orwell. Well, how do you like that?
Yeah.
Holy butternut squash! I'm with Poundcake. I thought Joe was going to start
He was
tearing up.
emotional.
Hey,
Hey,
it's a-
people, it hits people differently.
Made him very emotional.
It's not like he died. Never mind.
Now, for people who are asking, no relation to former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Oh, never mind then.
By the way, we are playing an ad for a pharmaceutical. We just played in this last break. You might have seen the TV commercials for it. It's called SkyRizzy.
Oh,
What-
SkyRizzy kills me.
What they legally have to do is they give you the retail name because they always come up with these wild names. But then legally they have to give you the pharmaceutical name, right? They give you the brand name, but then they have to give you, and it sounds like Snoop Dogg doing an ad. Did you hear this? Let me play it for you.
SkyRizzy, Risankizumab Rizza, a
Rizumkizumab. So the brand name is SkyRizzy, and then she has to go Rizumkizum Skabskizum.
That sounds like that TikTok trend where they're like, do you want to F around and find out? Like, it sounds like a joke.
No, it sounds like, I don't know if you guys remember that TV show Zoom, where they take
Oh,
all,
yeah.
all
Zoom,
the
Zoom,
vowels,
yeah.
all the vowels out of words. That's
It's
what
like pig Latin.
Yeah.
therapy. Now there's SkyRizzy, Risankizumab Rizza.
Yeah.
Rizumkizumab Rizum.
I looked it up. Rizumkizumab Rizza.
Abu
That's
abu
what
tibu abu abu.
Yeah.
Prism.
Rizum Shizum Glizum. It's like somebody, used to do the bit where you'd make fun of Bill Cosby. Shizum Flasm.
And now I'm in prison.
And prison. Money here. It's $1,000 courtesy of the Buzzard Muzzard Ookie Bookie. Courtesy of MMS. Listen closely and good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Check. That's check. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Speaking of Snoop Dogg, he and Ryan Reynolds are in a bidding war on the Ottawa Senators. Of all things. If you have a lot of money, it's a big, big feather in your cap if you own a sports franchise. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney own the Wrexham soccer team. They made a documentary about it, a big deal. And clearly, Ryan Reynolds, he sold his stake in Mint Mobile and made a ton of cash. So he's obviously looking to expand his portfolio. But the Ottawa Senators, they have the lowest average attendance in the NHL. Ooh. And I only know this because I had money on the Boston Bruins to win the Stanley Cup. And then they had their worlds turned upside down by the Florida Panthers, for Christ's sake. Bruins get knocked out by the Panthers. And all I could think was, who the hell goes to see the Panthers? So I was looking up average attendance of all the NHL teams. Bruins are pretty high. But I noticed the Ottawa Senators were dead last. They average about 8,000 fans a game.
Where do the Florida Panthers even play in Florida?
I think Tampa?
No, because
that's
the
Lightning. Right.
Are they in Orlando or are they in, not Miami?
No, the Florida Panthers are in, the Miami metro area.
Oh, really?
So it's that's a Miami hockey team. But anyway, the Ottawa Senators, Ryan Reynolds and Snoop wants to be the first black owner of an NHL team. And they're going back and forth.
Is he a hockey fan or he just
All
wants
I've
that
ever seen
title?
him in is Penguins jerseys.
Yeah.
If you want it, doesn't matter who you're a fan of.
Right.
If your team isn't for sale, you go and get one.
There's video where Snoop Dogg's calling a hockey game. Like, it's the first time he's ever, sat down and watched hockey, and he's in the announcer booth. And so he's going crazy. Like, he's having so much fun watching it.
He called the first period of the LA Kings game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
I love this experience, man. This is special right here to be up close and personal.
Glass seats.
Oh, they over here right next to me. Watch out now, dog. Watch out now. Hello. Hello. How y'all doing tonight?
It's Arthur Kalliev.
The Kings playing the Dallas Stars here.
Sliding in the corner there.
Yeah, sliding on ice like a pair of dice. 2 hits, 2 spell. Yeah, get that.
Hockey is an unbelievably difficult game to call.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah, get that.
Hey, get that.
Get back on D. We got that. We got the rock now. Turn it around. Run that 3-man weave. Run that weave. Run that weave. Run that 3-man
There's
weave.
Victor Arvidsson.
Oh, come on now. Slow up. Oh, get back on the good foot. Watch out now. Slide it around. Step up. There you go. Oh, give me the money.
See, the guys are up in the booth, and he's just at the glass with a headset on, wearing a Kings jersey, and they have him a picture-in-picture here just calling.
That's awesome.
Well, he dropped an album called Algorithm a few years ago, and so the Kings game had Snoop Dogg Algorithm Night. And that was him calling.
I follow in the slot, couldn't handle it.
I'll follow you to the liquor store. Come on now.
So anyway, he and Ryan Reynolds are in the mix to buy the Ottawa Senators. And who knows what will happen there. He's going to be putting in a bid. He'd be the first black owner of an NHL team. Now, I don't know if the plan is to relocate it. Probably not. But Ryan Reynolds threw his hat in last week. They think that the team will go for around $1 billion, just to show you how overvalued some sports teams are when you have the lowest average attendance in NHL. And again, professional hockey doesn't get the same clearances and revenues that other sports get. And so even if it's at $1 billion, that's a lot of money for the Ottawa Senators. But so they are looking into this. And Snoop, again, I guess you go where the action is. They said the condition, any condition of any sale is that the team remains in Ottawa. The owner of the team died last year at 62 after an illness. The Forbes magazine recently listed the worth of the Senators at $800 million, which is 24th out of 30 teams. They last played in the Stanley Cup final in 2007. They lost to the Anaheim Ducks in 5. But you don't want to lose anything to the Ducks. But, yeah, so Snoop's, maybe he's going to own the Ottawa Senators. I don't know.
And then the first person he hires for advertising, Rizzy Schism-ism.
Rob Anthony texted a group chat with me and Alan and said, it sounds like he's naming members of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Uh-huh. SkyRizzy.
There's SkyRizzy, Risen Kizamab Rizzo.
Uh-huh.
The Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang is for the children. Mm-hmm. Hey, Randy.
Hey, by the way, so you're talking about hockey, and you were talking about Neil Young. Neil Young's father, Scott Young, was this beloved hockey broadcaster, Hockey Night in Canada.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What night was Hockey Night in Canada?
Every night was Hockey
Was
Night
it
in
Friday?
Canada.
That's
Or
I
Saturday?
don't know. I just remember seeing
I'm not
the
sure.
ads because we used to have a like one of those big old fashioned satellite dishes, so we'd get CBC stuff. And I remember seeing advertisements for Hockey Night in Canada, but I can't remember what night it actually was.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a weekend or if it was a Monday. It was like their Monday Night Football. It was like the like sports program. The reason I called in, Alan, I heard about Gordon Lightfoot this morning, and you would appreciate this being a metalhead. Do you remember a local band out of Ravenna, Kent area called Ravenna Arsenal about 10 years ago? Do you ever hear of them?
I do not.
They were cool. They used to play the Stone Tavern here in Kent, and they used to do an awesome instrumental cover of Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I'm driving, so I can't look that up. I don't know if that can be found online anywhere. I thought you would like to know about that.
That's a long instrumental. I mean, part of the great part about that song are the lyrics. And I'm not a big lyrics guy, but the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, to pull out the lyrics.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's a catchy melody, and it's interesting to hear it adapted like that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I haven't heard that, but I appreciate it, Randy. Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
All right.
It's Randy.
Hey, Woody.
Alan.
Yes.
How's your day, brother?
I'll tell you.
Now there's SkyRizzy, Risen Kizamab Rizzo.
I'm doing Rizm Kizamab Rizzo, Woody.
Yeah, actually, I do want to look for that Edmund Fitzgerald 7.5 minute instrumental of the Edmund in a metal form. But you're just talking about the NHL, and I never got it up. Being born and raised in Iowa, there was not a whole lot of hockey going on. There was all just one state north of me in Minnesota. And but I was always intrigued about enforcers. That all these guys had, the thugs, the goons,
Oh, yeah.
That would just like they were there for they were hired and there for one reason, to protect all the good guys, all the great skaters, the Gretzkys and stuff like that.
The goons, yeah, they get in there and just start hitting guys.
Yeah, I just could skate, but they could take a punch and throw a punch.
Oh yeah,
and,
we had Chris Chelios back in the day on the Blackhawks.
Yeah, he was a madman.
Red Wings and Blackhawks. That dude just sold his Malibu mansion for $9 million or something. Wow, who thought Chelios had that kind of money?
Yeah. To be a goon, to make $9 million being a goon, he wasn't that great of a.
He was no Wayne Van Dorp, Woody. That's for sure. Okay, listen, I got to get going here.